Hey guys, it's Sarah. You're watching Mickey Between the Pages. Guys, today I am doing a very exciting video. I'm doing my very first review video. I don't do these very much because I never know how to speak about a book, even if after I've read it. I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. I filmed one before, but I never uploaded it because I was just all over the place. But I feel like this particular book, I can talk about so clearly and so well that it's not going to be hard for me at all. The book I want to talk about today is Everything, Everything by Nicola Yoon. So, to give a synopsis about this book is about a girl and she is allergic to everything that is around her. She can't go outside. She's never been literally outside in the world. She's only known her home. She's only ever been able to live inside because if she went outside she could die. And never known any person because no one can touch her because it could set off some kind of allergic reaction. And the only two people she's ever known in her entire life are her mother and her nurse. And then something happens and this boy, he moves next door. His name's Ollie, and he starts to be intrigued by her and why she's never coming outside, and he starts to break her out of her little home shell, and he makes her want to go outside. He makes her want to explore the world, and he kind of gives her the step into the world, and they fall in love. And that's not literally a spoiler at all because that is what happens. They do fall in love and it is magical and it is wonderful and it is beautiful. And I swear that I read this book in 5 hours or 6 hours. I read it in such a short amount of time because it's so easy to read and the writing is just so beautiful and magical and wonderful. I know I keep repeating myself with that, but it is true and it is very, very on point with how this book is. I think that this book, it took a piece of my heart with it. Like, I couldn't stop imagining how beautiful this girl's life was and how much she imagines beautiful things could happen and how much she wants them to happen and how much she doesn't want to be sick and how much she can not stand being in her house all the time because she never felt like it was, she always felt normal because it was a normal thing for her. But then Ollie changes her perspective on that. I'm not saying he changes her like how most contemporary books are. He changes her in such a different way and it's so beautiful and wonderful. I can't even describe this book in so many words because it is just so amazing to think about. And I immediately, right when I finished this book, I wanted to just reread it. It was the kind of book that you just want to reread right when you first finished it. And that never happens to me. Like, I feel accomplished when I finish a book. This book, I just wanted to stay in the world. I wanted to find out more. It was satisfying, but it was also not satisfying. It was the perfect amount of wanting more, but it's satisfied where it ends. And that is what I love about some contemporary books. And I'm not a contemporary buff. I don't actually like contemporary books that much. This one, I swear, is just going to stay with me forever, how amazing this book was. And I can't explain how beautiful and amazing this book is without just crying pretty much because it is amazing in so many ways. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. In this book there are illustrations, and the illustrations are one of my favorite things about this book because it makes the book go so fast, but it also makes the story what it is, which I loved. And I couldn't get enough of it. Like, I was waiting for another grocery list or a letter or an IM because that is like what I wanted so badly. I love the story, but I also love the illustrations in it. So I want to talk about the characters kind of. So Madeline, she's a very different character from the beginning of the book to the end of the book, because she's always known one thing is that she cannot go outside and she cannot talk to other people. But when she meets Ollie, that changes her perspective on what she can and can't do. And it was kind of awing in a way to see how much she grew in this book and how much she changed in so many ways, and how much I look up to her as a contemporary character, or as a character, both fictional character in general. And I loved how diverse her racial was. Like, she was half African American and she was also Asian. Like, she was a mix of that, and I loved her diversity of how she looked, because she was brown skinned, she was freckles all over her face, she had curly hair, she had brown eyes, and it was so beautiful and wonderful, and I loved it because I wasn't expecting her to look like that, and I was like, this is really good unexpectedly, like this is a happy unexpected. Oh my gosh, you guys, let me talk about Ollie now, because Ollie was just, I loved how much you found out about his life, because that's kind of what intrigued the main character in this book, Madeline, at the beginning, because you don't understand why he does some of the things he does, which I loved. Like, every guy contemporary character I've read about, there's always been something that the guy does, either it's athletic or it's very different. And this Ollie here does parkour, which was so cool and awesome, because I've never had a guy character do parkour before, and it was so cool to see it in a book. It was just funny. It was really funny, and I loved it. And I loved how his conversations with Madeline were, and I loved how his family dynamic was, because like his family wasn't good. It wasn't a happy family, and it wasn't something that could stay the way it was. I love this book totally and completely. Any way I describe it, it's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be good enough. But please, you guys, just read this book. It was amazing. I loved every bit of it. I am going to be reading it many times in the future. I know that for a fact. It was just beautiful. That is like the only word I can describe this book to be. I loved it. Just please read it. So that was my video for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and keep doing the reading thing, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.